Hey everyone, Doc Allie here today to discuss step 2. Stay tuned. Alright, let's run it back. Today was the day I got my step 2 results. And I'm going to give you guys like a little preview of part 2 or 3 of my testimony. Haven't figured out what I'm going to call it because it's like 2 different hairstyles, 2 different times. But the testimony still exists. This is my favorite Bible verse. This is my declaration and prophesying over what's going to happen. And this is my certification paper that shows that I took the exam. And this is something I always do when I take a test. I always put like a thank you in advance for passing the exam. And actually what I put on here is what I manifested. So it just goes to show that you want to manifest, you want to do good, right? So anyways, let's talk actual step 2 time and step 2 prep and all that other stuff. If you didn't watch my What's Up Doc, it's okay because I'm about to get into it right now. So step 2, it was a long road. I started my dedicated period in January. I finished end of March. My school makes us take a comprehensive exit exam before we're approved to take step 2, and they cut off our passing score at a 230. And then from there, if you get the 232 or above, you're approved to go forward with step. So the way that I studied for step was, in part, a huge shout out to my mentor. I know he's not going to appreciate this as much as I appreciate him, but if it wasn't for Hairy Man Harrison telling me like, get up, we're studying, we're doing questions right now, like, I don't know if I would have learned as much and would have had someone reinforcing the ideas and the themes of step 2. So I'm so very grateful to you, Harry Man, whenever you see this, if ever you see this, for studying with me during step 2. We used to do 40 block sets. We used to do 1 or 2 together, maybe a day, until he fell off because he took step 2 and he didn't need me anymore. But who blames him? Who wants to study after step 2? And even then, like even after he took step 2 and like he knew he passed and he got the score that he wanted, he still was like, I'll get on if you really need me to. And there were times where I really needed him to. And let's just take a moment right here to pause. And if you are one of those people who is struggling with biostats, I have the reference for you. But also, I think it's important to mention, biostats is not that huge. Like, it's on the comp crazy and it's on the MBMEs crazy. It's not even like noticeable on step 2. I think I saw 5 biostats questions. You know who's going to be your big enemy? Ethics. Do you know that was actually my worst segment? You know how they show you the breakdown of what you scored compared to everyone else? Literally the only section I did horrible on was the ethics or whatever. And I thought I was good at ethics. I thought I understood how to speak to patients and whatnot. But I do know that it wasn't really like the ethics. It was like the hospital prevention and all that stuff. And I'm just like, the entire exam I was rolling my eyes, but that was one of the main ones that was causing the major eye roll. So once dedicated started, I was doing maybe 40 questions a day. And as you know, like I like to do my questions and then I like to build and build and build and try to see my stamina. By week 3, I was probably up to 120 questions a day. Maybe 1 or 2 of those blocks being with either my mentor or a friend or someone else, or I did all 3 blocks by myself. I would say maybe a month before, so maybe end of January was when I started doing the practice MBMEs, and I started taking those. I took both the old free 120 and the new free 120, and let's put a pin note right here because I think this is very crucial too. If you don't see a good score on your MBMEs or your free 120, especially the new one, if you see bad scores, this is not the end of the world. And I know it feels like it, but it's a practice test, which means whatever knowledge gaps you need to fill before exam day, you still have time to fill before exam day. And I can say this now, reflecting on the times that I cried, because my practice score, literally, I started up here, and then each practice test I went, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? I'm studying like I'm supposed to do. But the problem wasn't that I wasn't studying, it was that I was taking the practice test scores as a prediction of what was going to happen on test day. And that's what I don't want you to do. I know that it's supposed to be a good, estimate or summary, but it can be off. And then what? It can be very wrong. And then what? You're going to not take your test because the practice test told you that you're going to do this? Obviously, you want to feel confident going into exam day, but especially for my exit exam, I failed the free 120, and I think I didn't do well on the MBME before that, according to my school's passing standards. And so I was like, I think I need to cancel my exit exam. And my therapist was like, you're not canceling your exit exam. Why? When are you actually going to fully feel ready? And that's the thing. You're not really ever going to feel ready until you're burnt out, at which point you're just willing to take this test and get it over with because you're tired. But she was right in making sure that I still went in, I still did my best, and I came out above fine. So that just goes to say, don't take the practice test to heart. Take what you can learn from the practice test and move on. Do not sit there crying like I did. I have a video of that. I think I'm gonna turn that into a TikTok or something motivational. Don't make fun of me. So aside from the question blocks, aside from the practice exams, I was taking them every week. My mentor said that that was a little too much, but with the time frame I was on, and by the time I had started taking them, it was like I had to in order to get them all done before my actual exam day. So I was taking them every week. Before my actual exam, I think I took a free 120. And yeah, I think that's it. UWorld was my main base, but we used to do supplemental with Amboss. I think Amboss can be very rude sometimes and tell you that you're an idiot when you're not an idiot. It's just they're asking stupid questions, so don't take that personal. If it's something that like 5% of people got right, honestly, my rule is if it's 50% or below got it right, I don't care. Like, I mean, I should care if it's like 40 to 50, like I care a little bit and I might go read up some more. But if it's like 40 and below, I don't care. Nobody is actually going to have that question on the test, and if it is, it's probably an experimental. What else? So Anki, I gave up on Anki. Anki was way too time consuming, but I have a friend who did do Anki. I had to give up on it. I was like, I can't do Anki for 3 hours and then do 3 sets of 40 questions. It's just one has to give, and I felt the one that had to give was obviously Anki. Review videos. Listen, so the guys I want you to look up. I want you to look up Divine. I watched Divine for OB. He's amazing for OB. I watched High Yield for internal, and for, I think I watched him for everything except for psych. But he's really good for internal, and I know some things he mentioned actually did come up on my exit exam. And then there's this guy named Step Prep. If you really do want that help with biostats, and you just need to really like consolidate the basic information, you should definitely watch him. But don't spend so much time, as much time as I did, on trying to get your biostats A1, because it probably made a difference because it's 5 questions, but it didn't make a huge outstanding difference, So yeah. Now, let's talk exam day strategy. I told my friend, and she is grateful that I told her this, take every single break. I don't care if you feel like you can just go straight through 2 blocks. Take those breaks. You need those breaks just to stretch, just to go up to. I ran to the restroom every 5 minutes because I was chugging cold brew the entire exam day. And you would think, oh, you don't need cold brew because your anxiety is good enough. Like, no, I was still chugging cold brew and I still had to run to the bathroom every block. So after every block, I went to the restroom. And I think I kind of did it like 5, 15, 5, 15. And then somehow I took too short of a break or too long of a break. And it kind of messed up the end. But as long as you're taking breaks regularly, your brain gets to take a second to say, okay. For me, negative thoughts were trying to invade me during the exam, and especially on breaks. Like, dang, you really killed it. Like, did horrible on that last block. And I would be like, nope, we're not going there today. We're going to be positive. We're going to stay positive. So, like, listening to good music, walking around, telling yourself positive things, snacks. Now listen, they say you need snacks. You do, you're at one point going to get hungry. Like, your anxiety is going to simmer down just enough that your stomach can say, hey, there's no food in here, and you'll be like, okay, here's some food. But for me, literally, I bought all these snacks, and the only thing I actually ate on exam day was my smoothie and my granola. Oh, and like one boiled egg, but I had 2. So like a lot of stuff was just sitting there for nothing. But yeah, I had water, smoothie, cold brew, and an egg and granola. Granola is good for energy, and if you get the kind that I got, which is literally the Kind brand, they have a peanut butter granola, and it's good and it's yummy and it's energy and it's protein. So it's like a wonderful mix to help you through exam. Don't eat anything too heavy. Don't eat any junk food that's gonna make you crash. You gotta prep like this is a marathon, because honey, it is. That is an 8-hour exam, but you're there for 9 hours. So imagine. I was the last. Closing thoughts. Afterwards, you might feel like me, where I was like, I don't really know what just happened on exam day. And then you might be the other half that walk out like, yeah, I just killed that. Now, if you're, yeah, I just killed that, you don't need my input. But if you are the, I don't know what just happened, like me, then I want you to stay positive in the upcoming weeks. I want you to think positive thoughts only. This is literally something I do the day of the exam. No matter how I feel, no matter what I feel like, I literally will say, thank you, God, for helping me to pass this exam. And that's it, like a sealed deal. Like, I put it in my Bible and I leave it alone and I don't think about it. I did not look up any questions after my exam. I did not want to confirm or deny whether the questions that kept running through my mind were wrong or right. And after a while, it kind of just dies down, because you can't think about what you got wrong if you don't know what you got wrong, right? So these are all my tips. It's not as amazing as my step 1 prep video, but we're at that point in our lives right now, in our medical career journeys, where you don't need me to basically baby feed you how to step prep, right? Y'all got this. And if you do have something specific that I did not mention and you have a question about it, drop it in the comments and I promise to get back to you. Other than that, until next time, guys.